What's up, family? It's your favorite host, Maria Jordan from Afternoon Tea Radio, and today I am sipping tea while spilling tea with my special guest, Mario Reyes. What's up?
What's going on, sister? Peace and blessings.
I'm so glad to have you, friend.
So this is the part where it's like formal?
No,
now,
it ain't going to be formal.
I was about to say, because we were just talking for like 20 minutes.
Intro? Can I do the intro? Dang.
All right. Tell me how special I am. I'm ready. All right, bet. My bad.
I can't. Okay. Well, as you guys know, we already know each other.
Yeah, right.
We cool. This is my boy. And you've been doing, we just have the same circles. We've been in the same circles for quite some time.
Yeah, up and down the East Coast.
Yes. So, poet, speaker, keynote speaker, award-winning poet. Let me add the accolades. I know. And so much other author. A Son with No Father is a what?
Book
with no author. So tell everyone a little bit about yourself. Tell them where you're from, like how you're the only Puerto Rican in Atlanta.
It's lonely out here, yo. Well, just set it off with originally from the Bronx, New York, Co-op City, Section 4 all day. You know, still feel like I'm 18 at heart, even though I'm 43 in the flesh. Left when I was 18, though. Mm-hmm. I've been out of New York longer than I've been from there.
Isn't that interesting? Mm-hmm. That's me, too, with the DMV.
Yeah, I feel like when you leave for a long period of time, you still claim this flag and carry it everywhere you go. And the people from there are like, yo, you're like not even from here.
I know.
You don't even understand what's going on the block. Like, I'm not supposed to. Right? But anyway, joined the Air Force, 6-year intelligence veteran in the United States Air Force. Got out and started a technology company. That's how I met a couple of our mutual friends.
Yes.
After that, moved to Atlanta, going on 10 years this August.
Dang.
And when I came down here, I knew nobody. I had like a handful of friends.
Yeah. Well, that changed.
Yeah.
So,
well, it was, so I had to rely on the one friend I had, which was my art, my poetry.
Yes.
And that opened up so many doors.
It does.
Yeah. I was able to partner lessons with the experiences. You know, after getting some age and some sage wisdom, you're able to start pairing. So it's less about vanity purposes while you perform and showcase your work, and more about what can I and how can I help? Yeah.
How can my art reflect change? How can my art, you know, and I mean, that's what I'm doing right now. You know, no, but really just being intentional, right? You are a talented poet.
Thank you.
When did you start doing poetry?
I started writing when I was 15.
So were you rapping first, or were you?
Of course, but I can't stay on beat. Like that was my Achilles heel right there.
Right.
Couldn't stay on beat for the life of me. But I heard T.O.N.Y. by Capone and Noriega. My boy Eugene brought it into school. I heard it. I was like, I want to do this. So we would just write. And then, you know, for years, it's funny because I would, like, something would happen on my block. Yeah. I would write about it.
Oh, wow.
So then I became, like, the unofficial reporter.
Wow.
Right? Then I joined the Air Force, and, like, the back of the bunks, when you're in your dorm, they used to call it the jungle, but we were all from New York, so they called it the projects.
Hold on, wait. All of y'all was from New York?
Well, you come in with a group.
Oh, okay.
So
from
the group that I came in with,
yes.
they was like there's like 12 of us, and they put us all in the back for some reason, so they called that the projects instead of the jungle. Like that, they were funny.
Not
right?
the project.
Like,
that's insulting. But go ahead.
But at 18, I took it like damn right.
You thought it was cute.
Yeah, silly me. So that being said, every time something would happen there, I would write about it. So it became like a thing that people would come to the back of the dorm at night and listen to me rap. And then when I finally got to my first duty station, I started dating a young lady, and I was in Hampton University. So she's telling me about the Harlem Renaissance and all of these amazing things that I was unfamiliar with, even from my own city. Yeah. So just in getting that edification, like by being in proximity to her and her education, she started challenging me like, yo, write about this concept.
Oh, wow.
And then my sister's like, hey, have you seen this Deaf Poetry Jam thing? I think you would like this. So I watched that. I can't rap on beat, but I like writing. So naturally,
it
just happened.
Wow,
and
that's
the
good.
first time I ever got on stage, no, it was the second time, I went on a slam, but I wasn't familiar with the culture.
How'd it work?
So I just went up there, spit, and left.
Oh.
And then like the next day, my people was just like, yo, you won. They got like $300 for you. I was like, it was a contest? Y'all didn't tell me that.
That's dope. That's dope. Okay, so are you ever nervous?
I'm always
going
nervous.
On stage?
No, you got to be nervous. Like, if you're not nervous, then you're doing it wrong. Like, but there's levels.
Why do you think that is?
It's like getting into a fight. You know,
yeah.
you convert the butterflies to the energy you need to win. That's called courage. You have to step through something to be brave. So you're not just brave because you don't care. If you're just apathetic, that's just what you are.
Yeah.
So I would say there's different levels. Like if I'm at like Apache, that's kind of home. So I may be nervous because the crowd may be dead.
Yeah.
And I got to liven them up. So that may be one particular aspect.
Type of
but
nervousness.
When you're performing in front of like 3,000, 5,000 people, I'm in backstage doing push-ups like, nah, I'm about to go out there and get this money. You know, you gotta approach it differently.
Yeah. So what do you think, like, what do you think? What has been like the most, have you been embarrassed ever?
Have I been embarrassed ever? Of course I've been embarrassed. First of all, when people don't understand,
story.
when you're on stage, every second feels like an hour.
Yeah.
So especially
That's
like,
so true.
if you forget your lyrics and you're like,
I literally have done that.
You can hear the murmurs. But I remember one time I was at University of Maryland, and I was in my early 20s, and they got this thing called Art Attack. So the whole University of Maryland campus is on the lawn, and my youthful arrogance is out there. So I see a young lady, I try to talk to her, she curves me. I'm like, I bet. I'm like, she gonna see me on stage, watch this. So my Air Force friends are there with me. So they put the battery on my back like that. You better kill this. You know? I'm like, bet. I go up there. I'm like, I'm killing it. I'm cooking.
Yeah,
I'm cooking.
Okay.
For what I could do back then. And then, of all the people, I see her walk and stare at me, and we lock eyes, and I was like, forgot everything. And I just stopped and I laughed at myself. I was like, I think I forgot the poem. And you've never felt dumber than hearing thousands of people at the same time go, oh. They all did it.
Oh, no.
That was funny.
Girl.
Funny. See, and that's the difference. Like, we talk about like nervousness and bravery. Like, now that I'm married and I got this amazing wife that's so talented in her own right.
Oh, yes.
When I ever feel nervous in a crowd, I look at her and I'm right back centered.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's like taking a sip of water.
Yes.
Without having to do
calm.
it. Exactly. That's your home right there.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
And she is amazingly talented.
Yeah, it's so.
Can we go ahead and give her plug on her art and everything?
Oh,
real
please.
quick?
Like, Chanel Angeli Studios, Evelyn Rose Studios. It all depends on which route, because right now she's killing the game so many different ways.
Yeah.
She does mixed media art.
Yes.
And that has taken off. She won emerging artist for the mayor's office last year. She's won Clio awards already, international recognition.
I just love her work. It's so unique, and then you can see the culture in it.
Very much so.
It's like it inspires her.
Very intentional. So what I love about it is that it's an ode to the ancestors. So a lot of the muses she finds are nameless, and whether it be in photography or historically, and she reimagines them from an Afro-futuristic standpoint. So now we get to like show a little black girl in Alabama.
Yes.
She's no longer a little black girl in Alabama. Now she's queen of the universe.
Yes.
We cooking different now, right?
Yes.
So that's the art which we love, which is always.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she's caught me off guard a couple of times in which, you know, the guy that can't shut up is speechless. You know what I mean?
So how'd you guys meet?
Poetry.
Really?
We met at a friend of her referred her to me, said she wanted coaching in poetry. I played her, like, you know, my image of her and my young stereotypes of people on Instagram came out. So I was kind of like dismissive, like, you too pretty. You don't care about this poetry stuff.
Oh,
Get
no,
out of
you
here,
didn't.
yo. Like, you're not coming, like, I do this. You know, you coming in with 250,000 followers or pardon me, 750,000 followers. I'm like, you don't care about this.
Oh my goodness, you was wrong for that.
I was dead
Did you
wrong.
apologize?
So I was long apology. Still apologizing. But
trying to play her.
Yes, so she called me. I was, according to her, I was very curt and dismissive, very New York with it, and she was like, I don't even know.
That.
And then we met at Apache Cafe just so I could show her. When we met, it was, I don't want to sound corny on some like love at first sight, but that spark happened as soon as like she got there first. I'm like, hey, she turned around, she smiled at me, I smiled down, and I was like, can I curse?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was like, oh shit.
Done.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you the real story too. So I'm thinking, oh shit, I felt like relief come over me. Now, mind you, it's Apache, so this is home court advantage. So I had my homegirl save us like a seat, like a table in the front. You know what I mean? Like everybody's giving me big ups from the stage. I'm like, yeah, I'm that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, bye, bye, bye.
This my space.
And
welcome.
then I was getting my camera ready to record my performance. And it's actually the title poem of my book, A Son with No Father. So I know I wanted to come in with some level of depth so she understands that I'm more than just a light-skinned tall dude, right?
Yes.
So while I was getting my lighting right, I took a picture of her. And one of the pictures, she was like biting her lip a little bit, like just enough. And I looked at her and I sat there and I said, yo, don't ever look at me like that again. She's like, what you mean? I said, this is how you got your babies, yo. Like, you gotta know who you. I'm an assassin.
Wait.
Like, you're about to be a rat. Like, and,
we're together. It's done.
And then next thing I know, so the beauty was there, the connections, the spark is there. And then I heard her poetry.
Wow.
What she wanted, the guidance in. And I was like, oh, like, you're very well read. You're insightful. You're profound. Like, the world wants to consume your beauty, but they don't even understand that you're so much deeper
More
than
than
this.
that, yeah.
So I just let her know, like, yo, if you thought you was gonna get a mentor in poetry, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna mentor you your whole fucking life. Like, it's over.
Together
I'm mentoring you forever. You know what I'm saying? So
and she
as she started the art, you know, whatever I have available, she has available, and vice versa. So we cooking right now, and I'm loving it, man.
I love that. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Hey.
Tink, tink.
Afternoon tea.
Yes. Sip.
And for those that don't know, it's actually the afternoon, and this is real tea.
Yes.
You know, shout out to the bookstore gallery on Northside.
Yes, and it's amazing. What kind was mine?
Yours is hibiscus. It's called Be Fruitful. They're one of the first hemp infused teas in the Atlanta metro area. So all Black owned, and they host one of our nonprofits. It's not my nonprofit that I'm partnered with.
Afternoon tea. Come on.
But it's called Undugu. It's a men's mental health group.
I love that.
They allow us space to be vulnerable and be ourselves.
I love that. That ties right into the next part of our conversation.
Okay, let's cook
mental health. And why is it so important to you? Like, when did it become a must talk about, must do? What was the story behind it?
That's a story, but let's suffice it to say, Bronx in the 80s, you normalize a lot of things that are traumatic and or which shouldn't be normalized. Just say that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the trauma is real.
I enlisted in 99. I got out in 05. So I saw pre and post 9/11. Being in the intel field, you're privy to a lot more information. I had a top secret SCI security clearance.
Oh, wow.
So I'm watching Like every day, people die. That was my job, to watch people die and make sure I supported that death. And provided I understand we was at war, I accepted my role, especially as a New Yorker. I took 9/11 personally, but I didn't know it affected me. And people made the suggestion time and time again, like, yo, you should go seek therapy. Matter of fact, the young lady that kind of like encouraged me to get into poetry, I picked her up from school, and she got in the car complaining about like science class or something. I'm like, bitch, you don't know how it's fucking real out here, da da da. Like, and she's like, whoa, that's not meant for me. Don't talk to me like that. You might want to talk to somebody else. So that was like, I might have been like 21, 22 at that time. Then year after year, you know, I just started seeing that spiral happen. You know, my sister passes away, going through the divorce, custody battles. You start playing all these games, and I don't know what made me go from being such a dope dad to a dad on dope. You know what I mean? Looking for that escape. And just, again, this woman comes in my life, this beautiful wife of mine, and the soft hand defeats the hard fist, and she merely suggests it, but for some reason when she suggested it, it resonated.
You could receive it.
I had to get to that point.
The delivery, the deliverer matters.
And then I found the right one, and I went through the VA, and the dude would talk to me and then challenge me to write a poem about it.
Ooh.
So
how thoughtful.
Now he's using my creative expression where I'm most honest and transparent.
Yes.
He did that, cooked it up, and I started understanding that my anger was a byproduct of other feelings. And I'm realizing that, understanding what crack smells like isn't the normal human American experience.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you can associate that smell with your aunt's house and why you used to play who could be the quietest.
Yes. Yes.
You know, my kids didn't have to get in the elevator and step over pee or somebody drunk. Like, they don't understand the fear of going down staircases because that's where evil resides in New York. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
and in a lot of hoods.
When I think about all of those things as a grown man, you wrestle with imposter syndrome going through corporate America. You wrestle with, with so many people talking, is my voice does it have space to really live, to be heard?
And is it relevant?
Is it relevant? And I think through the poetry is a lightning rod for everything.
Yeah.
The poetry was able to introduce me to my wife. The poetry put me on stages where now I feel comfortable speaking in public. Yes. So now I could not just write a poem, but I could also speak on
different topics and
the wisdom. I could share this wisdom. And as I'm doing so, when the people come up to you after, that's when you realize how much of an impact you're really having on this community.
Yeah.
And just in being somebody that wants to hold space for other people and be of service, because people were of service to me, I feel like it's incumbent upon us to do so. It's the talented 10th, reach back. So now it's the talented 15th and 20th. And so now we all just doing our thing.
Yeah.
And there's so many spaces in which Black and brown men feel muted.
And it's, what is it, PTSD? Like a lot of our, urban youth literally are experiencing PTSD.
Very much so.
Literally are experiencing trauma that just should not be something that they witness. Like their innocence is grabbed from them so young. And it's small things that's just normal.
Yeah. When I think about it, I look at it like, okay, yes, I can attribute a lot of trauma to the military because their business is war.
Yes.
If you've never seen war up close, like, it's not blocks shooting at each other. That is a battle. That is a war for you, but on a mass scale.
Yeah.
When you see 300 bodies in a day and stuff like that, it's different. So when I think about what the military did, but also the fact that I got 8 uncles that are dead from drugs and liquor.
Yeah.
You know what? 8 men, their
Yes.
impact on a young boy's life. I've never had an uncle take me to a ball game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, especially not my father's brother.
Yeah.
But that being said, all of that trauma from the Bronx was already there. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't there in a commercial, sweet, like I laugh at things that my wife looks at me and she goes, yo, this is sad.
That's literally my household. With me and my husband, it's the same thing. Just the trauma that you guys experience and have experienced that's just normal. And to think about this. You're at this place now of healing and being able to speak about it, but your uncle and your dad and everyone else before them, they didn't get to that point, And so imagine still being in that space.
Yeah. I feel like our generation is the first generation that had the freedom to actually be themselves.
Yes.
Like my parents were born in the 50s, pre-civil rights era. So imagine the bigotry they saw was nothing compared to what their parents saw.
Yes.
So finally we get to a point in which there's some progress with our generation, but our children now, they have the privilege to be entitled.
Yeah, they do. And so now we challenged the norm, the quote unquote norm. We challenged I understand that y'all was beating y'all kids like that, but is that really solving anything? Like, we're just different, and we're thinking about, I think that a lot of the things our parents did was based on what was done. Yeah. It's generational. That's what we do, where we but should we be doing that?
Yeah, we talk about tool sets. Like if you're lucky enough to have a father, when you get your first house, he's going to give you a toolbox because you got to learn how to fix this. Like it's going to require maintenance. So I look at it like generational toolboxes. My dad used to send me out with a knife if I was going far, just in case.
Yeah.
He taught me how and where to hit somebody so that way if they're bigger than me, I could knock the wind out of their windpipe and run. Just survival stuff.
Survival.
Because that was the environment I was raised in. Now, when I'm passing my son the toolbox, I want him to understand how to take care of himself. But when he goes outside, there's not 40, 60, 80 kids challenging him at every corner. It's not the lifestyle he lives. So I had to update the toolbox. Now, maybe it's a keyboard, emotional intelligence, a bunch of things that I've been able to acquire.
Yes.
And now I got to demonstrate for him. And one of the biggest things, I've had 2 come to Jesus moments this year already. One, I brought my father to an Undugu meeting. And
how did that go?
It was dope. It was super dope. It was funny because I help facilitate these. I'm not the founder of it. My boy Jamel is, but it's passion work for me.
Yeah.
So I'm facilitating this meeting. There's heavy hitters in there. These are leaders of industry.
Yeah.
This isn't just fluff.
A random.
So the ages range from 70 to 20.
Wisdom.
So think about the amount of different perspectives. And my dad, they go on, they're like, hey, what you thought about it, Mr. Reyes? He goes, I don't know who he is. The son that I raised, what I dealt with year after year after year in high school and the silly kid, the one that I don't understand how he became a leader like this, but I'm so proud of him. And I'm listening to what you guys say, and I know that I never had anything like this.
Wow.
In my so he didn't necessarily contribute on a deep level to the subject matter because that's not how that's not his DNA. That's not his wiring.
He wasn't introduced to those spaces to even have to expand in that way.
But I'm glad he was able to see it in me. And then with my son, I'm watching him become his own leader. He just got a standing ovation at North Atlanta for doing a poem during Black History Month.
Wow.
And then we brought them to a whole bunch of young men. We brought them to the National Peace and Justice Museum in Alabama. If y'all don't know, that's the lynching museum.
Oh, wow. Whoa.
It's heavy. It is
Where
heavy.
was this? Where is
this?
this?
This is in Montgomery, Alabama, which I didn't know, but used to what is the capital of the Confederacy. So they got their own White House. And it kind of adds levels, to like the ass whooping that the people caught on the at the dock the other day.
Oh,
when Money through the Hatter.
yes.
Like understand like historically what's been going on there. And when we walk through these exhibits, not just at the lynching part, but also they got another museum on the side where it has like hologram images of slaves and playpens and his little kids, and it's not. It hits you here.
Yeah.
And I just watched him, and then he said the poem that he did for African Americans for a bus full of men that he don't know, and owned it. Owned his voice.
Oh, I know you was proud.
Oh man, he's cooking right now.
Yeah,
he's cooking. And all of the kids we have are cooking. And
yeah.
Again, I'm sitting here like I didn't know that those lessons are like darts. You're closing your eyes and it's dark in the room. And
you don't know if they catch it or not.
You don't know if it's hitting or not. And then you get one that's a bullseye. And you be like, oh, go Mario.
Yes. I did that. That was me.
I helped do it at the very least, right?
No, you did it. You did it. That's dope. And so you have also Kingdom Son, and you have your fatherhood workshops.
Yes, ma'am.
And why was that so important?
Well, that's under the House of Manifest Destiny.
Oh, yes.
I used to do graffiti when I was in the Bronx, and my tag name was Manifest.
I didn't know
then
that.
I dropped it for the X because I'm from the Bronx. Manifest.
Yes.
So when we're coming up with names, me and my wife are like, she's always wanted to work with young girls and mothers. I watch her do workshops. So she's seeing the work that I'm doing just on the arm, and she's like, you need to create this workshop.
Yes.
So me and her sat down and we built it out, what the curriculum would look like. So we put it under the House of Manifest Destiny, our nonprofit, 501(c). So we serve underprivileged communities and bring art programs all around the Atlanta metro area. One of the things I like doing is Kingdom Son. Well, essentially all it is the bridge between communication gap. It bridges the communication gaps between fathers and sons.
That's a big gap.
But it's almost reflects what we do with Undugu, because in group settings, one father or a son can say something that would resonate with you, but you can't say it directly to your son because there's already that defensive wall based on the labels. Yes. So when you come into this workshop, you're labelless. Yes, that is your father. Yes, that is your son.
But we men.
But I'm Mario Reyes.
Yes.
And you're Mario Anthony Reyes.
Yes.
So let's get to know the person, and through that person we could heal together. And you don't know how powerful it is to see like a dude that's 280 pounds. You know them dudes that can't turn his neck? He got like this because he's too big. He's so big, but he's crying because we're talking about manhood. And he knows that he had to suppress all of his emotions his entire life as a child. And then when he became of age, just how he looks visually didn't allow anybody to have sympathy for him. So we do what we always do.
Not to mention being black and brown.
Hello. And then you get just comfortable in that anger of being unheard, being dismissed, being villainized. Yeah. So now when you're talking to your son and you're saying you don't have to do it all that, Papi, like, let's build. Like, let me show you what the redefinition of manhood looks like. Yeah. I'm here.
Ooh,
I'll take all of those shots. I just need you to be comfortable in being a whole human being.
And and that's key, because I feel like, with society, especially when it comes to our men, they don't allow you to be fully human. They don't allow you to have your emotions. They don't allow you to be sad and to be vulnerable. And all of these things are normal human emotions. They're not female emotions, they're emotions.
Hello.
And so what happens is you haven't been able to fully be human, and it comes out in different ways and avenues.
That part.
And because you're going through the one anger, they okay with you being angry.
Because they expect it.
They okay with you being mad. They okay with you popping off, but they're not okay with you crying. They're not okay with you releasing in another way. And what that does to our men is you're wondering why he's so angry and why he's so, well, you didn't allow like a volcano. You didn't allow him to be human. And it's so, it begs the questions, because like my husband, you, and a lot of males who from up top, they come down and they're making these amazing spaces. And it's like, do we need to go back up top and make these spaces? Because like, I think about that, like, dag, and he talks about it all the time. Like, man, I'm gonna have to go back home eventually and, create something for the neighborhood. And it's so hard to do though, because people are more open to it down here, but like, it's like, we need to get to the source of the problem.
So there's a couple ways I look at this, actually. Like, one, thank God for technology, because that was and has been the bread and butter. Thankfully, poetry and the arts have taken off, so now that's able to add the supplemental income, right?
Yes.
All of this costs money, though.
Yeah, it do.
Like, do you understand, like, you got to get funding. How do you get funding? Do you get a grant? Oh, you haven't been in business long enough to get the big grant, so you got to get the micro grants. So now you get the micro grants, they vanish like this. So now, if you're trying to go up top and do it, you're thinking about flights. You're thinking about finding the locations. Then you have to have a footprint to get the people out. One learning lesson: don't send out an RSVP that's free. At the very least, $5. Because people are going to show up when they got skin in the game. If they just are able to RSVP, but there's any minor inconvenience, they won't show up. We threw a workshop one time. We got 80 RSVPs. 8 people showed up.
That is so true. That's so true. And
so
it
when
happens
we talk
a
about
lot.
Going up top with this,
it's like, how do we?
Everybody is like, everybody that you know is still like, yo, can you do this over here? Are you going to help build out that infrastructure?
The resources that are required to even do it.
Let's do it. And
absolutely.
Then, so what I do is, I've made it back to the DMV and perform. And again, my pockets of support: DMV, New York, like Orlando, and here. I go to New York, I packed out New Eurekan Cafe to the point where after I perform, I go to say goodbye to people, and the whole crowd leaves because they all came for me.
Wow.
And then the owners got mad at me, like, yo, don't do that again. My bad,
I didn't
It wasn't
know.
Intentional, right?
I thought that the coffee was good.
And then in the DMV, I'll have 40 people show up.
Yeah.
So at the very least, I could come and speak on it.
Yes.
Workshops and things like that. That's going to be a lot more. It requires more coordination.
Yeah.
So if anybody's actually interested in doing so, you can reach us through manifestdestinynpo.com, or you could just hit me up on IG, Manifest Destiny INC, or I am Mario A. Reyes, and we could lock in. But come with a plan,
some resources,
so that way we could partner on it and we can have real profound impact instead of having me come out there and sit in a room with 4 people. Now, I don't mind. I'll treat that 4 like they're 400.
Yes.
But,
I really think the fatherhood workshops are powerful. I really think that it's something that is needed across the world, across every urban setting. And just allow, you'll speak to men who, I can't do that. I'm not they're so blocked. And I think it's so important to take women out of the picture and have these conversations amongst yourselves.
The walls you built for your protection become a coffin for your lessons. The past is meant to provide you with perspective, not direction. That's why the windshield's better than the rear view. You know what I'm saying? So when, for instance, the book, I partnered with faculty and doctors out of Georgia State University to compile the workbook.
Yes.
So it partners with the book.
Yes.
Now, when we're doing the workshop, it's easy for you to just open up the book and start asking questions, or you could do it at the dinner table with your family.
Yeah.
This is meant to encourage you, but it uses the book as the backdrop. So now you're not prying, and you're able to use our experiences for me and MJ growing up,
Yes.
coming of age, trying to figure this out. Because the kid thinks that you have all the answers.
Yeah.
But you don't. Like the same way this is their first time being a kid, this is your first time being a parent.
That's right.
So let's grow together. Exactly.
Oh, I love it. Well, tell everybody there's so much more, but first you gonna spit a bar or two?
I could drop bars.
Come on.
How about this? When I think about this dialogue, I'm gonna do every year around my birthday. I write what's called a period piece. Mm-hmm. It's for me to track my growth as a man. So if I'm talking about the same thing at 43 that I was at 33, not much growth there, right?
Okay.
So
I like that.
this year's, based on the subject of conversation, I think this is a perfect one. It's called Grow.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Grow, young man, grow. It's real. When you look in the mirror and you realize that you're grown, when those grays start to show and your halo start to glow, you see a distinguished couple on the beach at Soho, be like, so apropos. I said you grown when you get your grown man respect without saying shit. Those games get checked before you have to play in it. Your friends and family are prioritized over your acquaintances, and you buy your wife all those fly fragrances just to see her smile. But you young boys might call that high maintenance. Let me learn you something. I said, grow, young man, grow. It's real when you open up your mouth and you realize that you're grown. When you speak about solutions along with your suffrage, when you're proud to submit to one woman, one God, everything else is a distraction or a supplement. Growth will not make you exempt of any struggle. It just gives you the tools to know how to fuck with it. Do the math. It's simple. Me plus her equals nothing but abundance. You're a citizen of this globe as long as you hold down your circumference. Child's play is met with repugnance. Why? Because that phase is over and done with. Don't play with me with that dumb shit. Now let's get grown with it. See, you grown when you know your limits. You're grown when you've been there and did it. And now you put distance between you and them because you've grown and there's an obvious difference. Growth is when you know not to argue with children. They featherweight. We heavyweights. Growth is before you demonstrate your strength. You take a second to meditate. See, I only argue with peers. Everyone else, I just educate. You grown when you can appreciate the simple things. So go ahead, sis. Play on a swing. Find a song to sing. Give a girl a ring. You think I mean call? No, shorty, I'm talking about the wedding. A successful adult inside has a child that survived. I'm a ghetto kid that used to do backflips off project tires. Now I'm the king of the castle. A Scorpio named Poseidon using his tail as a trident to protect my tribe from funny vibes and all of y'all lies. Grown because I know that growth ain't a surprise. It's a simple decision that every man for themselves has to decide. I said, grow, young man, grow. The whole reason why I wrote this poem is to show the kids in my household that you're never too old to grow.
Come on with it.
Oh, snap that.
Oh, that was awesome.
You feel me? Like
I love it. It was perfect.
It's funny. Like I've grown in my poetry now that as I'm going through it, I will stop and explain the bars.
Yes.
So that way the shorty that's listening, that's 18, 19 years old,
they can comprehend.
I'm like, okay, let me tell you what Soho House is.
Yes.
Let me tell you why being with your wife at Soho House is fly.
Yes.
Let me break that down for you.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
Thank you. I appreciate you
Pleasure's
always.
mine.
Thank you for joining me. All right, first tell everybody again where they can reach you, follow you, all those amazing things.
So follow me at I am Mario A. Reyes and my nonprofit and Manifest Destiny INC on Instagram. Or you could just go to marioareyes.com or manifestdestinynpo.com and lock in with us. You'll find my poetry, you'll find the workshops, you'll find speaking opportunities, you'll find mental health resources, and you'll be able to lock in with my wife and all of her amazing art.
Yes, make sure you guys are definitely following Mario and his wife. Just amazing talent for all the creatives, and also all you men, link up
Lock
He
in,
doing
brothers.
a
Brothers,
lot.
lock
For
in.
real, for
I'm
real.
telling you, I am you. I know what it.
Yes.
I know the whole struggle. So let's put that part aside and get to the real work.
And grow together.
Hello.
And grow together. All right, y'all.
I'd like
Thank
to give a shout out to Julia Reyes, Mario Reyes,
Yes.
Amaya, MJ, Raina, Alex,
yes,
Chanel.
yes.
What's up? What's up? We out here, baby. Keeping it real.
all the fam. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you tune in next week to Afternoon Tea Radio. Peace.